Today we made an offer that the Ukrainians have accepted, which is to enter into a ceasefire and into immediate negotiations to end this conflict in a way that's enduring and sustainable and accounts for their interests, their security, their ability to prosper as a nation. I want to personally thank, we both want to thank the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, His Majesty, for hosting us, for making this possible. They've been instrumental in this process, and we're very grateful to them for hosting us here today. And hopefully we'll take this offer now to the Russians. And we hope that they'll say yes, to peace. The ball is now in their court. And but again, the president's objective here is, number one, above everything else, he wants the war to end. And I think today Ukraine has taken a concrete step in that regard. We hope the Russians will reciprocate.
Well, we have some good news today. We have a little bit of progress. I mean, at least it looks like it for now. I'm not sure if I really trust it, because last night Ukraine launched a massive drone attack on Russia, but today it is being reported that Ukraine has agreed to do a 30-day ceasefire. But right now, Trump has to wait until he talks to Russia and see if they agree. So this is the farthest we've gotten, okay? There were opportunities for other ceasefires in the past, but the warmongers in Washington, D.C., and the warmongers over there in Europe, because look, we place a lot of the blame about what's going on in Ukraine on our politicians here, but you got to look at the rest of NATO. You got to look at how Europe has been reacting since Trump came in office and how they're freaking out, and it looks like they don't want the war to end either. It looks like the only people that want the war to end are basically the MAGA crowd. I can't say Republicans or conservatives, because plenty of them are all on board with the war in Ukraine. The MAGA crowd seems to be the only people that want to bring an end to this war. The left, they just want just as many people to perish as possible. We know how they are. They're all about population control and stuff deep down. And I don't think, most of the ground level leftists realize that, but the higher ups know what's going on. But anyways, it looks like there may be a possibility for peace. Fingers crossed, this works. But I want you all to hear what Trump had to say about this, then I'll be right back with more thoughts.
But very importantly, and I said it, Ukraine, ceasefire. Ukraine, ceasefire. Just agreed to a little while ago. Now we have to go to Russia, and hopefully President Putin will agree to that also, and we can get this show on the road. We can get this horrible war where 2,000-3,000 soldiers a week, every week, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 sometimes. I get the reports. And they're not American soldiers. They're Ukrainian and they're Russian. But people are being killed outside of that. People are being killed in the cities as things explode throughout the cities. And we want to get that war over with. So I think it's a very big, I think it's a big difference between the last visit you saw at the Oval Office and this. So that's a total ceasefire. Ukraine has agreed to it, and hopefully Russia will agree to it. We're going to meet with them later on today and tomorrow, and hopefully we'll be able to wipe out a deal. But I think the ceasefire is very important. If we can get Russia to do it, that'll be great. If we can't, we just keep going on and people are going to get killed. Lots of people.
If they're able to make this work somehow, it's going to be a big deal, like a major deal. Because in all reality, look, we all want peace. I want peace. You want peace. But we also have to think about this logically. We have to be realistic. If you know what's happening on the ground in Ukraine currently, this ceasefire helps Ukraine. But how much does it help Russia? If you were Russia and you were making the gains that they're currently making on the battlefield, would it make sense for you to agree to this ceasefire? Because what's going to happen during this 30-day ceasefire? America's going to pour in a bunch of more weapons into Ukraine. Other countries, the rest of NATO, they're going to pour more money and more weapons into Ukraine. So I'm hoping that this works. I think it's fair to say that everyone watching this video is probably hoping that this works. But you have to think about it from their perspective. Of course, Ukraine is agreeing with this ceasefire because they kind of have no choice. They're not winning this fight. They have no chance of winning this fight. It doesn't matter how much money we send them. They have no chance of winning this fight. So it's not like they have a lot of leverage here. And one could make the argument, if you're looking at it from a Russian point of view, that this deal doesn't make as much sense for them. So if Trump is able to pull this off, then kudos to him. I am hoping that this works out. I'm not totally confident that it is going to work out, but fingers crossed that it does. Because the fighting needs to stop. The senseless killing needs to stop. And the conflict that's raging on right there, it just has so much potential to spill out into a bigger, broader conflict. And that's my main worry. My main worry, I mean, listen, I feel bad for what's happening, right? But my main worry is what happens if the wrong move can be made. And what I'm worried about is even one of these people doing something deliberately to start dragging NATO and other countries in. So the quicker we end this, the better. Because every day that this fight drags on, every single day there's potential for this to turn into just all-out war between NATO and Russia and you name it. But for now, let me know your thoughts about this down in the comments below. While you're down there, hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe, ring that notification bell. And if you find yourself getting too worked up by all of this, remember, it's just political cinema.